We did a full day yesterday, and we're back doing another full day today. Well, not a full day. I think we do probably half a day, man. Maybe a couple of maybe 3 or 4 hours, right? But shout out to everybody, man. Everybody in the chat, everybody. New growth. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing behind the wheels still, bruh. Don't even try it, new growth. Don't even try it. I used to DJ at school called Willowbrook Middle School out there in Compton. I used to DJ at I used to DJ their dances at lunchtime. Then I moved over to right up the street in Compton, Centennial High. Used to DJ some of their dances too. And man, you know what I mean. So I was in Carson, Compton, Long Beach, L.A. I was a man, and I was hooked up with a dude, man. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this guy, man, DJ, man. He was a world-renowned DJ, man, Curtis Harmon. He used to be on KEDAY. And so how I met Curtis Harmon was I was in a record pool. See, when back then when you was a DJ, they had what they call record pools, right? And they would give us records because back in the 80s, it would take a record like 2 months to break from New York to LA. It would take a record about 2 months. Now, of course, man, you got a record can break. You got the internet, man. As soon as a record break anywhere in the world, it'll break the same day, right? But back then, wasn't no internet. If it wasn't in getting rotation on like MTV or nothing like that, you really pretty much didn't hear about it. So they had these things called record pools where us as DJs, we could get the record as soon as it came out. So if it was hot in, let's say, Atlanta, we would get it like the same week, right? Now, it wouldn't get radio play out in LA for another 2 months. So by the time, but we would get it early, especially if it was banging, right? So anyway, I met Curtis Harmon through the record pool.
For the 9A's, I am your choice, the man with the golden voice. DJ Quick definitely in the house with my homeboy Curtis Harmon. You know he done rock from Japan to America right down to the equator, because it ain't nobody greater, you know what I'm saying, Curt? And if we can do it like this, kick it. My nigga Curt, this in your ass right to the back of the line. And Quick is here to rectify just one more time with PLAYAZs. Ballin', niggas keep calling, and girlies keep on falling for the okey doke, because they broke straight flat. They stole my shit last year, but I bought it out back. And plus,
Curtis was one of the dudes running the record pool, right? So, and for some reason, Curtis took a liking to me. For some reason, man. For some reason, man. He just me and him clicked, right? We kind of had laid back personalities, and so he and I clicked, and so I just listened to him. He tried to school me on the game about DJing, and so I just listened to him, right? But what Curtis would do, Curtis would give me a lot of gigs because Curtis was on the radio. I mean, Curtis was a DJ on the radio, right? He was on. None of y'all are too young to remember K-Day out here in LA, man. 1680 K-Day. But K-Day was the only rap station out here in LA, and they broke everything, right? And so Curtis was one of the DJs at K-Day, right? And so he always got offered DJ gigs, right? But Curtis was like, I'm not doing nothing for under like $1,000 or like $1,500. I mean, that's the least I'm gonna work for. So they would say, hey, Curtis, we want you to do this job for $200-300. Curtis was like, I can't work for no $200-300. You bring all that equipment over there just for $200-300? Nah. So what he would do was he would feed them to me. He would feed those kind of jobs to me. He would say, hey, bro, yes, you can ask questions here, urinator. I get you, that's a nice little Bart Simpson thing. I get you, man. But yes, man, you can ask questions as long as you're respectful and as long as they make sense, man. I'll try to answer them. But shout out to you, man. That was a nice little Bart Simpson thing. Got you, right? Right? Bart Simpson calls the bar Moe's bar and asks for and Jack Hoff, right? Whatever, right? Anyway, man, hey, man, we ain't no haters over here, man, bro. You want to call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, right? Anyway, so I'll tell a story about Curtis Harmon, right? So anyway, look him up, Google him. So Curtis, he and I became good friends, and he would say, Clarence, man, they want me to work for $500, man. Are they crazy? He said, man, I know you got a little crew. You can take your little crew over there, and And I was like, oh, okay. To me, that was big money. $500 for just spinning records. To me, that was big. I thought I was in heaven, man. I thought I was in heaven till one day Curtis said, you know what, man, I'm moving to Japan. He said they made me an offer I can't refuse over in Japan. And so he stopped feeding me. But by that time, I'd probably been out a couple of years, so I already had a name for myself out there. So people was calling me anyway, but Curtis was feeding me some nice gigs, man, nice places, man. So, but that's how I got into the DJing. That's how I got into mixing and everything, man. But shout out to Curtis Harmon, man. Shout out to KD. Shout out to 1580 KD, man. Man, it was some times, man. It was some times. Yeah, man. Shout out to KD. But yeah, that's how I got into it, New Growth. That's how I really got into it, man. Because Curtis, man, basically spent about 2 years just feeding me gigs, man, all over the city, man. So I was working a full-time job. I was going to school, and then on the side, me and my crew was going out DJing parties, man. Can't beat that with a baseball bat, right? Remember one time, man, I was DJing a party out in Compton, and was Compton or Linwood? Compton or Linwood, and because like I told you guys, man, you know what I'm saying? Uh, uh, Curtis Harmon used to throw me all these parties, man. Curtis used to throw me all these parties. And he said, Clarence, I can't work for $500. What do you think? I'm crazy? I was like, $500, right? I was like, that ain't no money to you. He's like, nah, man, all the equipment I would bring over there, and all they want is $500. All they want to pay me is $500. Nah, bro, nah. But here, man, you got your crew. You want it? Do you want it? If not, I'll pass it. I'll pass it on to somebody else. I said, heck yeah, I want it, man. Just give me the address and tell them, give me the number. I'll call them and hook it up. So Curtis will either I would call or Curtis would call and say, hey, yeah, I got one of my people coming over there. He'll hook it up, right? So I go over to this party I got in. Then I used to DJ. At a record store called the Warehouse. There's a warehouse that I used to DJ at, right, on Saturdays sometimes, right. So anyway, I would get some gigs out of that as well, right. So anyway, y'all don't know about the Warehouse. The Warehouse was a record store, and you could go in there and shop for records. Well, what the lady had me doing in there was DJing live. Wow! So I was playing some of the records that they had in there, right? So anyway, it was a good gig, man. Nice little gig. So anyway, I got this gig from either that or Curtis, one of the two. Anyway, so I'm in this party. Me and the crew, we at the party right down here in Compton, right? So anyway, or Linwood, I don't know, I forget where is it, Compton or Linwood. Anyway, so this sister was having a birthday party. She was turning 19 years old, right? She was 19 years old, and me and the crew was probably about the same age. Maybe some of us a little younger, right? But she turned 19 years old. Brother, let me tell you something, man. She had a cat suit on. No, what you mean, Clarence? A cat suit? Like you mean like it was tight? Yeah, I mean no, it was tight, but it was like a cat, like a what are those things that can run real fast? Not a jaguar, but what's a cheetah? She had a suit like a cheetah. It was like a cheetah because it was like around Halloween time, right? So everybody had a costume on, and so she had this cheetah. It was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, man. Everybody in the place was on it. Hold on, Vagoda. I'm gonna get to the link, man. Hold on. So everybody in the every guy in the play, every single guy in the spot that had any means was trying to get her. So it was about 3 or 4 dudes chasing her all over the place, right? So finally, this one dude comes in, and he's dressed, he's dressed like a retired, he dressed like he's retired out there in Miami Beach, right? So the father's like, who is you? Who is you is? And he was like, "Oh, I'm her boyfriend," right? So he said, "You are you." the father was from the South, man. I'm not the South. SUSOUTH. He was from the South. SAWF. South. He was from the South, right? he said, "Hey boy," he said, come here." He said, "Sit down right here. Let me talk to you. You going out with my daughter, with my baby girl?" He said, "Yes, I am. Yeah, I am." And the dude probably looked like he was probably about 30, 31, somewhere in there. So the father said, "Sit down." He said, so the dude came and sat down, right? Next thing I know, see now I'm DJing, but when I had a crew with me, right? So I had one dude that could take over for me while I was going around checking, make sure the speakers were working okay, and everything like that. So while I'm doing that, I'm overhearing them dude talking to this cat, right? So the father was like, hey, what you do for money? What you do?" So young brother was like, "Oh, I'm in real estate." I'm in real estate. I buy and flip houses. So the old man say, "You do? What? Okay, what's escrow? What? You tell me what's escrow?" Right? So, so the young fellow was like, well, I don't know, and so the father said, "Yeah, that's what I thought. Out." The dude's like, "What?" He's like, "Out of my house." He's, I guess he told one lie too many, right? I'm overhearing all this stuff. Me and a couple of my boys just cracking up, right? Because we listened to a dude get grilled. Man, he got grilled like a hot dog, right? So, but the father threw him out. He ended up leaving because he was like, "Man, what?" He said, "Man, no, you gotta go." And he said, "Unless you want to stay and answer some more questions," right? So the dude was like, "Nah, I'll talk to you later." Tell the girl that I'll talk to you later, right? But holy smokes, man. Just the memory of that cat suit, man. She had a little tail too. Holy smokes, man. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to that sister, man. Hope everything in her life is great, man. So he say, Brother Clarence was walking around making sure he identified all the felines at the party. And you know what, Sister Eddie, man? Well, not man, but Sister Eddie, it was like most parties, right? It's usually about two or three sisters that are really attractive, right? Hold on one second, y'all. Yeah. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Yeah, if I die, so it's usually like maybe two or three girls at the party that are really worth, um, and like most of the guys will be chasing those two or three girls. In other words, let me say it like that. Just like at a club or something, right? Most of the guys are gonna be chasing 10 or 12 girls that's at the club, right? So it wasn't, and it was a house party. Remember back in the day we had house parties, right? So it was a house party, right? Dude was throwing this party for his daughter, and it was a house party, right? So anyway, he threw the house party for her, and we were the entertainment, right? Boy, man, boy, oh boy, oh boy, it was worth it when she had that cat suit on. I'm a little more advanced now, Sister Eddie. Yeah, that will make me turn my head all the way around. But before, woo, can't, you know what I'm saying? Got to admit, man, I was really bugging out over that cat suit. But anyway, yeah, man.